Imagine a world where luxury and adventure meet at sea. Cruises, a symbol of opulent vacations, promise an escape to the extraordinary. Yet beneath the sunlit decks and starlit soirees lies a hidden reality. What secrets do these floating cities conceal? As we embark on this voyage, let's uncover the untold stories behind the glamour, revealing the darker aspects of these maritime marvels. Ready to set sail into the unknown? The allure of the sea, a historical perspective. Long before the luxurious liners and sun-kissed decks became synonymous with holiday bliss, the story of cruise ships began with a humble yet revolutionary purpose: exploring the uncharted waters. Our ancestors' relationship with the sea dates back to prehistory. Early humans, driven by curiosity and necessity, ventured into the vast, untamed ocean on rudimentary vessels made of bamboo and reeds. This marked the beginning of humanity's enduring bond with the sea. Over centuries, this bond evolved, driven by the spirit of exploration and the need for trade. The Middle Ages were a pivotal era in maritime history. European powers, particularly Portugal and Spain, made significant advances in naval engineering. These innovations enabled explorers to venture farther than ever before, eventually leading to the discovery of new continents. However, these early voyages were perilous, with ships primarily designed for exploration and cargo rather than passenger comfort. The 19th century witnessed a transformative moment for sea travel with the advent of steamships. This technological breakthrough made voyages faster and safer. In 1817, the Black Ball Line initiated the first regular passenger service between New York and Liverpool.
For nearly 2 decades, we have endeavored to bring to our passengers a cruise experience.
Initially, these journeys catered to transporting passengers and mail, but soon, the notion of travel for leisure began to take shape. The concept of cruising for leisure came into its own around 1880. Initially, British and American companies offered leisure trips, but it was in Norway where the idea truly flourished. Norwegian companies began organizing regular trips to the stunning fjords. The first purpose-built cruise ship emerged in 1900 in Germany, heralding a new era for maritime leisure travel. The early 20th century marked the golden age of cruising. Ships transformed into floating palaces, boasting luxurious amenities like pools, restaurants, and a variety of entertainment options. This era saw the emergence of the cruise ship as not just a means of travel, but a destination in itself. However, the rise of aviation in the mid-20th century posed a significant challenge to the cruise industry. The convenience and speed of air travel led to a decline in sea voyages. Many shipping companies either vanished or had to reinvent themselves to survive in this new landscape. The late 20th century saw a resurgence of interest in cruise travel. Companies adapted by offering unique experiences, exotic destinations, and unparalleled luxury. Cruises became a symbol of opulence and leisure, attracting millions of passengers each year. Today, the cruise industry stands as a major player in the global tourism sector. Modern cruise ships are marvels of engineering and luxury, offering a wide range of amenities and activities. They are floating cities complete with shopping centers, theaters, spas, and gourmet restaurants. A floating fantasy, the rise of luxury cruises. As the cruise industry adapted to the challenges posed by the advent of aviation, a new era dawned: the era of luxury cruises. These floating behemoths were no longer mere vessels for transportation. They transformed into symbols of opulence and leisure, offering an escape into a world of extravagance and fantasy. The transformation of the cruise industry began in earnest in the late 20th century. Companies, understanding the changing landscape, began to shift their focus from transportation to leisure. This marked the birth of the cruise for the sake of cruising philosophy. The journey itself became the destination, with ships designed to provide an all-encompassing experience that could rival any land-based resort. Modern cruise ships are marvels of engineering. They are gigantic, often surpassing the length of 3 football fields and rising taller than a 15-story building. These vessels can accommodate thousands of passengers and crew, boasting features like multiple decks, state-of-the-art navigation systems, and sophisticated safety mechanisms. Inside, they resemble floating cities, complete with shopping malls, multiple dining options, theaters, and water parks. Luxury on these cruise ships is redefined at every turn. Passengers can indulge in spa treatments, dine in fine restaurants featuring world-renowned chefs, and enjoy Broadway-style shows. The amenities are designed to cater to every taste and desire. From swimming pools and hot tubs to rock-climbing walls, ice skating rinks, and even robotic bartenders, the options seem endless. The cruise industry's expansion saw it catering to a diverse range of demographics. Family-friendly ships offer activities and entertainment for children and teenagers, ensuring that every family member has something to enjoy. Adult-only cruises provide a tranquil escape for those seeking a more serene experience. Themed cruises cater to niche interests, from culinary voyages to music festivals at sea. Accommodations on these ships range from modest cabins to luxurious suites with private balconies overlooking the ocean. The most opulent suites offer butler service, expansive living areas, and exclusive access to certain parts of the ship. This segmentation in accommodation allows cruise lines to cater to a wide range of budgets and preferences. Innovation has been a key driver in the evolution of luxury cruises. Companies continually seek to outdo each other with newer, more lavish ships and unique experiences. Some cruise lines have even introduced virtual balconies in interior rooms, giving passengers a live view of the sea outside. Environmental considerations have also started to play a role, with newer ships being designed for improved energy efficiency and reduced environmental impact. The economic impact of the luxury cruise industry is significant. It supports a wide range of industries, from shipbuilding and tourism to the service sector. Port cities benefit from the influx of passengers who spend money on local attractions, dining, and shopping. The industry also creates numerous jobs, both on and off the ships. Despite its glamour, the luxury cruise industry faces its share of challenges and criticisms. Environmental concerns, such as pollution and the impact on marine ecosystems, are increasingly in the spotlight. There are also ethical concerns related to the treatment of crew members and the impact on local communities at various ports of call. Environmental wake, the ecological cost of cruising. The majestic image of a cruise ship gliding through the ocean's blue expanse is an iconic symbol of luxury travel. However, this picturesque scene belies a less glamorous truth: the significant ecological impact of cruising. The environmental wake left by these floating giants is a cause for concern, raising questions about sustainability and responsibility in the face of leisure and luxury. One of the most pressing environmental issues associated with cruise ships is their substantial carbon footprint. These massive vessels rely on heavy fuel oil, a type of fossil fuel that is both cheap and highly polluting. The combustion of this fuel releases significant amounts of carbon dioxide, contributing to greenhouse gas emissions and climate change. According to environmental experts, the carbon footprint of a cruise passenger is roughly 3 times greater than that of an individual on a land-based holiday. Beyond carbon emissions, cruise ships contribute to other forms of marine pollution. They generate large amounts of wastewater, including sewage, bilge water, and gray water from showers, sinks, and laundries. This wastewater often contains harmful substances like nitrates, phosphates, and bacteria. When improperly treated or discharged into the sea, it can lead to the degradation of marine ecosystems, affecting coral reefs, fish populations, and overall ocean health. Solid waste management is another environmental challenge. Cruise ships generate significant amounts of solid waste, including food waste, packaging, and discarded items.
Carnival's Princess Cruises will pay a $40 million fine for dumping oily waste into the ocean.
While efforts are made to recycle and responsibly dispose of this waste, the sheer volume can be overwhelming, and not all waste is managed appropriately. Additionally, the use of plastics on board, from straws to water bottles, contributes to the global issue of plastic pollution in our oceans. Cruise ships also contribute to air pollution, particularly in port cities. The burning of heavy fuel oil produces sulfur oxides, nitrogen oxides, and particulate matter, which can have adverse health effects on local populations and contribute to acid rain and smog. Some port cities have reported a noticeable decrease in air quality on days when multiple cruise ships are docked. The operation of cruise ships can also directly impact marine life. Noise pollution from engines and sonar systems can disrupt the behavior and communication of marine animals, particularly cetaceans like whales and dolphins. Ship strikes are a serious threat to marine mammals, often resulting in injury or death. Cruise tourism often targets some of the world's most pristine and fragile environments, such as the Arctic, Antarctic, and various island destinations. The presence of cruise ships in these sensitive regions can exacerbate the effects of climate change, as well as pose risks to local wildlife and ecosystems through pollution and physical disturbance. In response to growing environmental concerns, the cruise industry has begun to take steps towards greater sustainability. Some companies are investing in cleaner fuel alternatives, like liquefied natural gas, LNG, and exploring renewable energy sources. There is also a growing trend towards better waste management practices and reducing the use of single-use plastics on board. Regulatory bodies have started to implement stricter environmental standards for cruise ships, including limits on sulfur emissions and requirements for wastewater treatment. However, enforcement and compliance remain challenges. Increasingly, consumer awareness and demand for sustainable travel. Options are driving change within the industry as passengers become more conscious of their environmental impact. The human cost, labor exploitation at sea. Beneath the glittering facade of luxury cruise ships lies a less visible but equally significant issue: labor exploitation. The human cost of keeping these floating cities operational is a story of long hours, limited rights, and challenging working conditions, often hidden from the eyes of leisure-seeking passengers. The workforce on cruise ships is typically international, with many employees hailing from developing countries. These workers are often attracted by the promise of steady income and the opportunity to travel. However, the reality they face is starkly different. Employees, particularly those in lower-ranking positions, work long hours, sometimes up to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, without a day off for the duration of their contract. There is a significant wage gap between workers from different countries and positions on board. While some senior-level staff and those from developed countries may receive fair wages, many workers from developing countries are paid substantially less. This disparity is often justified by the lower cost of living in their home countries, but it doesn't account for the demanding nature of the work and the high cost of living in developed countries where ships often dock. Living conditions for crew members can be cramped and basic, especially when compared to the luxury amenities available to passengers. Crew cabins are often small, with little privacy, shared by multiple workers. Access to recreational facilities for crew members is limited, and their meals are different from what is served to passengers. The contractual terms for cruise ship employees can be strict and sometimes exploitative. Contracts often include clauses that make it difficult for workers to leave their jobs or seek legal recourse for grievances. Furthermore, the legal complexity of international waters and the use of flags of convenience make it challenging to enforce labor rights. Workers often find themselves in a gray area of jurisdiction, where neither their home country's laws nor those of the country where the ship is registered adequately protect them. The psychological impact of working on a cruise ship should not be underestimated. The isolation from family and friends, combined with the pressure of constant customer service and the physical demands of the job, can take a significant mental toll on employees. Instances of depression and other mental health issues are not uncommon among cruise ship staff. Health and safety concerns are also prevalent. While cruise companies have made strides in improving safety protocols, the nature of the work still involves risks. Accidents and injuries are not uncommon, and access to quality medical care can be limited on board. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted these risks, as cruise ships became hotspots for the virus, affecting both passengers and crew. There have been efforts to address labor exploitation in the cruise industry, both from within and from external organizations. Some cruise lines have started to improve working conditions, increase wages, and provide better support to their employees. Labor unions and international organizations are also advocating for better treatment of cruise ship workers and more stringent enforcement of labor laws. As awareness of these issues grows among consumers, there is increasing pressure on cruise companies to improve their labor practices. Ethical travel is becoming more important to many passengers, who are now considering the welfare of workers as part of their travel choices. This shift in consumer attitudes is slowly pushing the industry towards more sustainable and ethical labor practices. Health at high seas, public health concerns. While cruise ships are often associated with relaxation and luxury, they also present unique public health challenges. The close quarters and communal nature of these vessels create an environment where illnesses can spread rapidly, raising concerns for both passengers and crew. One of the most significant health concerns on cruise ships is the outbreak of contagious diseases, notably norovirus and, more recently, COVID-19. Norovirus, often dubbed the cruise ship virus, is notorious for causing gastrointestinal illness and can spread quickly in the confined space of a ship. Symptoms include vomiting, diarrhea, and stomach cramps, leading to an unpleasant experience for affected passengers. The COVID-19 pandemic brought unprecedented challenges to the cruise industry. Cruise ships became early hotspots for the virus, with several high-profile outbreaks occurring on board, leading to quarantines and significant media attention. These incidents highlighted the difficulties of managing infectious diseases in such environments and raised questions about the adequacy of existing health protocols. Cruise ships are equipped with medical facilities and staff to handle routine health issues. However, the scope and capacity of onboard healthcare are limited. In cases of serious illness or injury, the options for treatment can be constrained, and evacuation or docking for medical attention can be complex depending on the ship's location. Maintaining high standards of sanitation and hygiene is crucial on a cruise ship. The industry has implemented various measures, such as regular cleaning and disinfection, hand sanitizing stations, and health screenings for passengers before boarding. Despite these efforts, the risk of disease transmission remains a concern, particularly for norovirus, which is highly contagious and resistant to common disinfectants. The mental health of passengers and crew is another concern. The isolation and monotony of long voyages can impact mental well-being. For crew members, the stress of long working hours and separation from family can contribute to mental health issues. Cruise companies are increasingly acknowledging these concerns and implementing support and wellness programs. Food safety is another critical issue on cruise ships. With thousands of meals prepared daily, the risk of foodborne illnesses is a concern. Cruise lines must adhere to strict food handling and preparation standards to prevent outbreaks of diseases like Salmonella and E. coli. Additionally, catering to passengers with food allergies and dietary restrictions requires careful attention and planning. Cruise ships must also contend with environmental health hazards. These can include exposure to pollutants from ship emissions, water quality issues, and the risk of accidents or injuries due to the ship's operations or recreational activities. In the event of a medical emergency, the response capability of a cruise ship is a vital consideration. While ships have medical personnel and facilities, they are not equipped like a full hospital. In cases where advanced care is needed, the ship must arrange for medical evacuation, which can be challenging and time-consuming, especially in remote areas. The cruise industry is subject to regulatory oversight regarding health and safety standards. Organizations like the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, in the United States, have established guidelines and conduct inspections to ensure compliance. However, the effectiveness of these regulations can vary, and enforcement can be challenging due to the international nature of cruising. As awareness of these health concerns grows, passengers are becoming more proactive in their health and safety while cruising. This includes adhering to hygiene practices, making informed decisions about travel insurance, and understanding the health services available on board. Lawless waters, crime, and legal loopholes. Cruise ships, with their aura of luxury and relaxation, seem like unlikely settings for crime. However, the unique legal environment of international waters creates a complex jurisdictional landscape, often leading to a sense of lawless waters where criminal activity can fall through the cracks. The primary challenge in addressing crime on cruise ships is the issue of jurisdiction, A ship's legal jurisdiction is typically determined by its flag state, which is the country where it's registered. However, many cruise ships are registered under flags of convenience in countries with more lenient regulations and lower taxes. This practice complicates legal matters, as the flag state is responsible for investigating and prosecuting crimes, but often lacks the resources or willingness to do so effectively. Crimes on cruise ships can range from theft and assault to more serious offenses like drug trafficking and sexual violence. There have also been instances of mysterious disappearances and alleged murders. The isolated and closed environment of a cruise ship, combined with the transient and diverse nature of its population, can create opportunities for criminal elements. Investigating crimes on cruise ships is fraught with difficulties. Evidence collection is challenging due to the mobility of the ship and the transient nature of passengers and crew. Moreover, the ship's security personnel are primarily focused on the safety and operational aspects of the cruise and may not have the training or authority to conduct criminal investigations effectively. The crew and security personnel on board are the first responders to any incident. However, their ability to handle serious criminal cases is limited. They are often not equipped to conduct complex investigations, and their primary allegiance to the cruise line can lead to conflicts of interest, especially in cases where the company's reputation is at stake. There is also an issue with the reporting and transparency of crimes on cruise ships. Victims may be reluctant to report crimes due to fears of not being taken seriously or concerns about their vacation being disrupted. Cruise lines may also underreport incidents to protect their image, leading to a lack of accurate data on the true extent of crime at sea. International law, including the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, provides some framework for addressing crimes at sea, but its implementation can be inconsistent. Agreements, like the International Maritime Organization's Safety of Life at Sea, SOLAS, Convention, and the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, have provisions for safety and security, but enforcement is often left to individual countries. For victims of crime on cruise ships, the path to justice and support can be daunting. The complexity of international maritime law can leave them feeling helpless, with limited access to legal recourse. Cruise lines are increasingly being called upon to provide better support systems for victims, including access to medical care, counseling, and legal assistance. In response to these challenges, there have been efforts to strengthen safety and security on cruise ships. This includes the adoption of stricter security measures, improved crew training, and collaboration with law enforcement agencies. Some countries have also begun to extend their legal jurisdiction to crimes committed on cruise ships, even in international waters. Passengers are becoming more aware of the potential risks and are advocating for greater transparency and accountability from cruise lines. Consumer advocacy groups are pushing for stricter regulations and enforcement, as well as better reporting of crime statistics. The future horizon, industry responses and changes. The cruise industry, having faced its share of challenges, from environmental concerns to labor issues and public health crises, is at a pivotal moment. As it sails into the future, the industry is responding with changes and innovations aimed at addressing these challenges and reshaping its image. In response to growing environmental concerns, the cruise industry is increasingly focusing on sustainability. Many companies are investing in cleaner technologies, such as liquefied natural gas (LNG)-powered ships, which emit less carbon dioxide and sulfur compared to traditional fuel. Some are also exploring alternative energy sources like solar and wind power, along with advanced waste management systems to reduce their ecological footprint. One of the industry's significant commitments is reducing carbon emissions. Several cruise lines have set ambitious targets to lower their greenhouse gas emissions, with some aiming for carbon neutrality by 2050. This move involves not only adopting cleaner fuels, but also improving energy efficiency on board through better design and operational practices. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the need for stringent public health measures on cruise ships. As a result, the industry has implemented enhanced health protocols, including improved ventilation systems, regular health screenings for passengers and crew, and upgraded medical facilities on board. Cruise lines are also working closely with health experts to develop strategies for managing and preventing outbreaks. There is a growing recognition within the industry of the need to improve labor practices. This includes ensuring fair wages, reasonable working hours, and safe working conditions for crew members. Some cruise lines have started to adopt more transparent hiring practices and provide better support for their employees, including access to health care and mental health resources. In response to concerns about crime and safety, cruise lines are enhancing their security measures. This includes employing more security personnel, using advanced surveillance technology, and providing better training for staff to handle emergencies and criminal incidents. There is also an increased focus on collaboration with international law enforcement to ensure the safety of passengers and crew. Technology plays a key role in the future of cruising. From virtual reality experiences to digital health passports, cruise lines are embracing innovation to enhance the passenger experience and improve operational efficiency. The use of data analytics and AI is also becoming more prevalent, helping to optimize routes, reduce fuel consumption, and personalize guest experiences. As consumers become more environmentally and socially conscious, transparency and engagement are becoming crucial for the cruise industry. Cruise lines are making efforts to communicate their sustainability initiatives and labor practices more openly, allowing passengers to make informed choices about their travel. The industry is increasingly collaborating with governments, regulatory bodies, and international organizations to develop and adhere to stricter standards and regulations. This collaborative approach is essential for addressing the complex challenges of operating in international waters and ensuring compliance across different jurisdictions. Adopting these changes comes with significant economic implications for the industry. Investments in cleaner technologies and improved labor practices require substantial financial resources. However, these changes are seen as necessary for the long-term sustainability and growth of the industry, as well as for maintaining consumer trust and preference.